Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. I am Madals, and this is IEM Toronto EU qualifier number 1. We're getting into a second round game here, and it is going down on Catalina. Spawning in the lower left-hand position, we've got the purple Terran player representing Millennium, none other than DieStar. And his opponent up to the north, the red Protoss player representing Team Dignitas, it is BlinG. Fun times are going to be occurring. I am totally ready for this. They did ninja start before I was prepared, but still, this is where exciting things can happen. PvT is an awesomely intense matchup with some very strong phases of the game. I'm excited to see what these two are going to be doing. So, at the moment we do have just a gateway first, coming down from BlinG up against a Rax into a gas from DieStar, who is going to be opening things up with a Reaper first. Now, DieStar is just off the back of a PvT. He was able to take out Jacko in his first round game. BlinG, on the other hand, he did not have a first game. And the reason for that is because, well, he got a bye. He got through the first round. Easy peasy. And I think you'll find most players will be very, very happy about a first round bye. It means that you're actually sitting in a safe and steady spot. The winner of this is, I don't know if they actually know who they'll be playing off against yet. I don't think they do. Potentially Todd or either Namshar or Misu, depending on who wins their game. So, tough opponents there. It only goes to the round of 16, bear in mind. So already in the round of 32, the next round is the final round of the night, and that's because the top 8 qualify. That's pretty nice. So, easy times, not many series in the night as a whole. Anyway, just keeping a good check on what these two are doing. The Reaper is on its way out. Should only be the one Reaper, generally speaking. Little tiny touches which just separate the top pros from the rest of us mere mortals. Look at this SimCity coming down from BlinG. Basically, this limits the potential movement paths of the Reaper, especially through the back here. So he's... One little Reaper can only come through here, and out the side. That's basically BlinG's aim, is to make sure that it's as minimal possible places that any kind of Reaper harass or anything could be wandering through. BlinG's also taking his natural base nice and early. That was before... Actually, no, it was after the cybernetics core, so it's not super early, but just relatively quick. Mothership core now out. The probe did survive, so that Reaper managed to achieve a whole lot of nothing. Otherwise, DieStar just continuing on the way he did in the previous series against Jacko, adding on the reactor after that first Reaper and the natural base. Although the natural base being built in the main as opposed to down the ramp, despite the fact that BlinG is expanding, so he's not going to be applying much in the way of pressure. Engineering Bay also coming through from DieStar, so he's going to be looking for that +1 timing play yet again. And that +1 has served DieStar pretty well. If he's going for the same route that he did take up against Jacko, it could very well be that he decides to go for the +1 into Concussive Shell with a lot of Marauders. Just in that first prodding. It can work really nicely. It can give him solid upgrades throughout the game. Meanwhile, we do just see the robotics facility coming down from BlinG. And I just saw someone in chat ask, and I do apologize, I have to have quite a big stream delay for online qualifiers like this. But the hats, the party hats, are to celebrate the 4th birthday of StarCraft 2. Isn't that awesome? Can't believe it's been 4 great years of StarCraft 2. It really does. When you put it that way, it seems crazy. I can remember the StarCraft 2 Wings of Liberty beta. It was so fun. It was so great. Oh, remember Void Rays. Do you remember Void Rays? They were hideous back then. There was actually a point where if I saw Void Rays, I just GG'd. Because I just didn't know what to do. I was coming from Warcraft 3 and the original Dota, so I wasn't super versed in StarCraft 2. But they just made me sad, Void Rays. Anyway, quick little expansion coming down now, just floating its way down. Meanwhile, BlinG, he's already got his up and running. He's at 32 probes up against 25. Adding in a Stalker, adding in an Observer, and he's actually adding in a couple of Observers, really focusing on that map vision to know about the movements of his Terran opponent, really keeping things in check, really trying to keep a great move of what's happening. Otherwise, do we see much more? Not really. Concussive Shell was coming through as expected, +1 also on its way, and this little prod out from a handful of units. It's seen by BlinG's Observer though, so BlinG should just be waiting here in order to Photon Overcharge. Generally, this is always going to come. It's to expend the Mothership Core energy very rarely, if ever, at high level does it do anything more than that. Reaper does actually pop up, but Noda gets taken down. That is a really smart move by BlinG. What vision did he have? Oh, okay, so he had the Observer there. That's how he was able to see that. Really good play. That second Observer being incredibly useful. Green's taking a little bit of prod damage. One will get taken down. A second one could get low as well. BlinG playing a dangerous game. Concussive Shell is done, but he had no way to know that. So his Stalker takes a bit of damage, but luckily will stay alive. Back at his base, DieStar, just adding in good production, adding in his starport, a few more barracks, nothing insane. His +1 is finished, but no sign of +1 infantry armor yet, and that's something that he has got in previous games. So, just a quick little poke. Back to home now with the rest of this infantry. Photon overcharge will subside shortly, but of course the Mothership Core does already have enough energy for another if it was required. Now, is there something... Am I missing something, or has this become the preferred strategy now? Double upgrade's going to be coming through here from BlinG. Double upgrades, not too far off, to be honest. They are going to be quite late compared to that of DieStar's, but of course with Chrono Boost and the fact that they're both coming down simultaneously will be quick. BlinG is nice and early for BlinG as well, who's adding in a couple more gateways, as well as a Colossus. That is going to be his first Colossus hitting the field now, whereas for DieStar, his first couple of medevacs ready to make progress. Note BlinG's Observer position. He has so many out. 3 observers here, 1 observer across the map. 4 in total for those who struggle with arithmetic. But yeah, this is a good way to play Protoss. Getting that information, preventing the drops from doing much, just so important. Anyway, quick little move forward. Waiting to see if this drop is going to be able to succeed with much. Of course, BlinG is going to be able to see this as he comes past the observer. Actually, no, did he miss that? Was that the one gap? It must have been. This is a bit of a problem for BlinG now. He doesn't know that this is unloading. He is moving a couple of Stalkers up, but already the infantry's there. The Colossus is seen as it pops out. This is going to be a massive loss for BlinG, having that taken down. There is the second Colossus, but one is going to struggle to do too much. The Photon Overcharge will certainly help. And so, yeah, this is looking all pretty good at the moment. Quick little drop down the ramp. BlinG sees, of course, the drop unloading on the low ground. Pushes forward, just cleans out the infantry at the front. Of course, the second observer is really doing a nice little job there. Otherwise, this is still looking like a pretty normal game. Biggest difference is the fact that a third is coming through for DieStar already. So he's playing this very similar to how he did up against Jacko. Just wanting to make sure that he's ahead on expansions, keeping pressure up through drops and prodding. And he will probably target the third base from BlinG. That's certainly what he did up against Jacko. And it worked pretty well for him. So, yeah, nice little move forward here. Is BlinG going to be able to hold it, though? Because if he can, that is going to be, obviously, a good step for BlinG. He needs to keep that third base up. It was the big problem for Jacko up against DieStar, was DieStar repeatedly got that cancelled, or not even cancelled, got it killed, and that was a bit of a problem for him. Anyway, move down now. A couple of Colossi. We'll find a lone little Marine. A few more units coming across, though, with medevac support. 1-1 done on both sides, so relatively even there. The Colossus can really help. Unless they get caught out of position, the Marauders will be able to find them. BlinG move forward. He's going to lose one of those Colossi. Quick little pickup from DieStar. Saves a lot of his infantry, but getting a Colossus there is a nice little pickup. Really trying to stop that Colossus count from getting too high is incredibly potent and incredibly powerful. If you manage to keep the Colossus count down, obviously it makes it a lot easier to trade against it. You've got the option to reduce or push out earlier because you only need as many Vikings to deal that critical damage. BlinG counter-attacking though, he's got a couple of Zealots coming on through. In total, he's managed to kill 3 workers, which isn't insane, but does delay a little bit of mining time as well. Definitely trying to keep the pressure back onto DieStar. BlinG, he's got this proxy pylon, so he's ready to get more through. And Marauder's going to go and hunt that out though. May not actually see it for quite a while. It's going on a bit of a long route around, but will eventually get back there. BlinG, edging out a couple more Stalkers. His observer placement still just staying and keeping a good perimeter around his main base in case any further drops try to advance upon him. For now though, BlinG, his third base up and running. He's down by a couple of workers, which isn't ideal. However, his Stalkers are going to try and level that back out. They've got BlinG, so they can escape away to freedom relatively quickly if required, if they run into any sort of trouble. Quick little blink away yet again. We've got a double drop, although not many units there. Just the 3 Marauders and 3 Marines. Waiting to see if a push can come in towards this third base. BlinG 3 Colossus now standing, not that much in the way of gateway units. 13 Zealots make up the bulk of it, and they've again tried to warp in, although this time the pylon has been discovered. Little prodding towards the third base now of BlinG. Losing a couple of probes, but nothing too disastrous. His army being pulled across to deal with this. DieStar doesn't really have a follow-up, doesn't really have anything over on the left-hand base ready to, say, drop into the main, so no disadvantage to pulling units across there for BlinG at the moment, who just happily keeps up his third. He's now only 9 workers behind, and he's going to be just trying to keep this up. It's forced to photon overcharge in his natural, not quite able to get the medevac. 16 HP remain on that, and that's a bit of a pain. Ideally, he would like to be able to pick up that medevac. It would be the ideal thing to do. But yeah, this is relatively normal times at the moment for both of these two. They're getting comfortable into their later stages of the game. That poor hallucinated Phoenix. He's trying so hard. He's like, why is it taking explosions if I'm just a hallucination but no damage? Where is the sense there? Where? There isn't any sense there. That's why. Now, DieStar got a sense tower up, so it's giving him a bit more advanced warning if any further Zealot harass comes through, such as that. No sign of a fourth yet from DieStar. He's just pumping out a lot of units. Specifically restarting up medevac production, because he's only actually got 2 on the field, one of which is pinned basically dead behind BlinG's main. Should be able to sneak in and get a bit of damage into the main base. May force a couple of warp-in of Stalkers just to pick it off quickly. There's also only 2 Marines there, so that won't be too scary. Mothership will photon overcharges onto that. Nice little feedback from the High Templar on the low ground as well. Picks off the medevac. That photon overcharge, maybe not entirely necessary. Doesn't leave enough energy for any more for quite a while. And that's as DieStar moves forward. Pushing in, the first Colossus does get taken down. Zealots deciding if they want to try and trade. But DieStar's got good concave. If anything came down that ramp, it would die. The Vikings still have 4 Colossi to take out. There is only 9 Vikings on the field. The Stalker's going to try and take them out nice and fast. 1 Colossus will die. The other 3 survive though. However, the natural base of BlinG gets taken down. DieStar moving forward. He's going to take out the robotics facility, preventing further Colossus production. At the natural base, a small group of infantry will get taken out, but already substantial damage has been done. The fact that natural has fallen is going to hurt. Yes, the rest of this push has now been cleaned up, but at what cost? A double drop queued up for DieStar now. He's heading over. This third for BlinG, ridiculously important. The main base looking a bit low. Of course, DieStar still up at 70 SCVs to the 37 probes that are all that remain of BlinG's economy. Look at this income difference. DieStar massively ahead, and BlinG knows it. He needs to get some counter damage too. The Colossus shelling away. They're going to be very cautious about the fact that there could be Vikings chasing down, especially when the Stalkers are back at home for the moment. Couple of Stalkers coming across. We'll take out this double drop. Very good control here, picking apart these Marauders. One of the medevacs goes down. The second one will fall as well. Unfortunately, a Stalker or 2 did die there, which is not ideal, but hey, the double drop was taken out. It was a decent chunk of DieStar's army. Unfortunately for BlinG, he's ahead in the upgrades. 3-3 is finished for him. 2-2 is done for DieStar, but 3-3 is still about 50 seconds from completion. And the army supply is fairly level. BlinG adding in the Templar archives now. He's having to remake that. The previous one did get killed, so unfortunately BlinG really was gutted for his tech, but he's still looking for a way to attack. 3-3 not quite done for DieStar yet. It's about 20 seconds away. Couple of Vikings edging forward. They get a few shots off, unfortunately onto a real Colossus, not the hallucinated one. Sense Tower, of course, really paying off nicely for DieStar, giving an advanced notice of where BlinG is trying to go and when he's trying to go there. BlinG in full retreat. He has re-established up his natural base now, but still the probe count very, very low. Frantically trying to remake those, but it'll take time, and a lot of it. Little move up now. 4th base coming through from DieStar. He's keeping a base advantage, and he's also looking to get a good engagement. He's up by only a couple of supply in the army count, but up a lot in supply thanks to the workers. So the overall supply is not something that's too honest in terms of how this fight is balanced out. The Vikings, though, they're getting some good shots off both, or 2 of the Colossus down. The third one is going to take a lot of damage here. The infantry on the ground is going to do very well up against gateway-only units. A couple of Archons trying to morph on through, but they're going to die before they ever become a thing. The Stalkers blinking, microing like mad, but GG is called, and DieStar is able to take game number 1 of this best of 3.